Hello and welcome everybody. So today is another review of My Hero Academia. This time is chapter 138 and it's called Go, I think. So we got some pretty cool stuff this week, it seems. Well, obviously it begins with, your typical preparation since they're planning an assault on the Eightfold Precepts or whatever they're called. And yeah, we kind of get these explanations like how they know the way, because when Night Eye touched that person, he apparently got a map. Well, he obviously saw through the person that he touched a map of where Eri's room is. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. Like, so they know exactly where she's going to be, but obviously we know as readers that there's going to be a catch, right? I mean, they're not just gonna go right in, pick her up and go out again. It's not gonna be that simple, not even if you know where she is. So I think that's kind of what they're trying to tell us, that even if you know where she is, things are going to get complicated. And we do find something out at the end of this chapter which kind of confirms that. And then we kind of get some other preparations, like we see the fat guy, I don't even remember that hero's name, but he or she, again, I don't even know what gender it is. So yeah, Tamaki is given swordfish food, I think, because obviously his quirk is that whatever he eats, he gets like attributes from that. So if he eats like swordfish, he's gonna be able to embody like swordfish things. So I'm guessing like he could essentially turn his arms into swords if he ate swordfish food. Much like when he ate octopus, he gained like octopus tentacles and shit like that. So I really want to see that form, because Tamaki is at the moment one of my favorite heroes in this series. He's definitely my favorite quirk user, because that quirk is fucking amazing. I mean, it is a very creative quirk when you think about it. I mean, he could literally gain the power of anything. He just has to eat it. And well, things get heated pretty quickly once the assault actually takes place in this chapter, because we obviously see, the guy who's gonna like tell them about their warrant, and as the moment he like knocks or rings the bell, I don't know, we see this huge guy just bust open the door from the inside, and just everyone who's like nearby obviously gets launched into the air, and Midoriya and Eraserhead saves them. Well, I think some other people as well, but obviously Midoriya and Eraserhead are the important characters who does this. And from that point, things just escalate. Like her name is Ryukyu. Anyway, the dragon lady, right? She fucking transforms, and we see like this semi-dragon appearance from her. Like, obviously she both grows in size. I mean, she doesn't turn full dragon. We can still see this humanoid sort of appearance, but she is very much dragonized. And I think this is also a really cool look on her. I mean, obviously her human form didn't look that different. Let's face it, she has had her suit on. But now that we actually see that she has an actual transformation, I'm really hyped to see what she's capable of. And obviously she's going to be fighting with, I guess, Sue and Uraraka, so that's gonna be quite interesting to see. But anyway, there's another thing about, well, a very quick part about this chapter, which was we saw the leader of the Eightfold Precepts, Chisaki, with his father, who looks to be sick in his bed. And this is also something that I'm curious about, because Chisaki is able to, he can take apart and repair things with his quirk, but from the looks of things, he cannot fix his father. So I'm wondering what's wrong with his father. Obviously it's something beyond his quirk. So maybe his quirk can't fix, illnesses or something. I'm not sure, to be honest, but yeah, obviously we do find, well, Chisaki finds out that they are already at their doorstep, and he doesn't really seem that worried. And we do find out why he's not that worried, because he has a unit that is actually prepared to deal with these heroes that we have never heard of before. But before we get to them, we actually find out the real reason why the people use masks, and that's because obviously Chisaki, he doesn't like to breathe the same air as these people that he chooses. And well, he chooses them because they're expendable, essentially. They're his pawns. And the name of this unit is literally the 8 Expendables, which I think, it's quite a cool name. It's kind of generic, I guess, having just, your number and then your title, just 8 Expendables. But regardless, it is, these villains looked really nice. The design of these upcoming villains, I guess, are really looking nice in terms of design. I'm really curious what quirks they have, because they look, well, at least 2 or 3 of them look like they have some kind of elemental based quirk based just on their appearance, but I could be wrong. One of them actually looked a little bit like Tokoyami, because, well, he had a sort of blackish appearance. I'm not sure if that was just his mask or whatever, but yeah, it did kind of look elementalish. So that's what I'm kind of guessing, that it might be his quirk as well, but I'm not too sure about that. So yeah, I mean, we didn't really get to see Midoriya fight or anything other than save people, but I'm thinking that, you know, in the next chapter or maybe in 2 chapters we're gonna get some nice Midoriya action, and we didn't actually see Mirio at all this chapter, so I'm not sure where he went. I might have forgotten something about the latest chapter, but yeah, he's not with them essentially, and obviously we didn't see Gran Torino either because he apparently found a lead on the League of Villains, which is, you know, the main antagonist league in the entire series, so he's not gonna be with them. I'm guessing that's because he's quite strong, and well, they probably want to limit, you know, the top tier heroes in this arc to make things more challenging for the ones who are actually there. At least that's what I'm guessing. But yeah, that was pretty much all that we got in this chapter. I mean, it's just an opening setup sort of chapter for the actual fights, and I'm pretty confident that in the next chapter we're gonna get at least one big fight going on, probably, well, possibly with one of the 8 expendables, but I'm not sure about that because obviously they're gonna be the big enemies in this arc, I reckon, so we might have to wait for them to actually start fighting, at least for them to start fighting seriously. Obviously they could just, you know, make an appearance before the heroes, but they're not really gonna fight them, I don't think. The same for Chisaki. Obviously he's going to do anything to, you know, make sure that the heroes don't get to Eri, so he's probably gonna reinforce the tunnel or whatever is that Eri is inside, possibly with these expendables, kind of making them, you know, stationed so that they have to fight all 8 of them before they can actually get to Eri. I mean, that's kind of the best way to go, I think. Especially if he's so set on them not reaching her. Because she's kind of the main thing about, you know, it all. Without Eri, his plan is like fucked because that's kind of all he's doing. He's just making these drugs based on Eri. I mean, she's the key to it all. So yeah, it will be very interesting to see how this arc progresses. Because so far I'm really liking this arc. I know some people don't, but I really like this arc so far. Chisaki is one of my favorite villains. Like, I really like his quirk in a way that it could be, you know, really fucking dangerous, but it's also a really helpful quirk. So he could potentially turn good. I don't think he will, but had he been a good guy, he could have been really useful. Anyway, I'm going to end off the video here. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. What do you think of this week's chapter of My Hero Academia? And as always, if you did, please like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new to my channel. This has been your favorite host, Perm, and I'll see you soon.